footballing problems happening at Real Madrid, and it just feels like there's this dependence, and if he doesn't score, they won't get it to go. Whereas I think Erling Haaland and Manchester City have a different story to tell.
Yeah, I think obviously these are the two informed strikers along with Harry Kane right now in Europe. I think when you look at maybe where Real is struggling at the moment, I think Man City will have to improve. This could also be a Ballon d'Or level conversation with the way that these two players have been performing this season. 25 goals to 20. Mbappé is again performing in a team where the results maybe aren't quite there. I still think though he is delivering a really high level. Goals plus assists, second in Europe's top 5 leagues. Goal involvements in terms of percentage is number 1, and he is rated right now by SofaScore as the best performing player in Europe, game in and game out, which makes sense based off of the eye test as well. But I think it's more, and you mentioned that dependence, this is absolutely the figure that shows that. 57% of the goals the Real Madrid have scored have involved Mbappé in some way.
I mean, imagine if he had a little bit more of a helping hand with Vini, with Rodrigo, who's on this record dry spell, right? With Jude Bellingham, even finding that partner. Arda Güler at moments looked like he was going to be that really great midfielder that could partner and provide for Kylian Mbappé, but it's dimmed down a little bit, that light, that bright moment that they connected earlier in the season. So it just feels like it's become a very Kylian Mbappé heavy team and not a strong collective performance week in, week out from this group.
Which might not necessarily be his fault, but I think it is perhaps the biggest thing for them to figure out going forward. Now, you look at Erling Haaland for Manchester City, I think his figures have been fantastic as well. And there was at one point this season that sort of similar level of dependence. If he didn't score, Man City didn't score. I think that has actually improved in recent times, but still the numbers are staggering. Obviously, this is before the international break in November. 19 goals, 68 minutes per goals, thereabouts, but a significant overperformance of the expected goals. That has changed since the international window now. We've only seen the 1 goal since, and I think you look at this underperformance in terms of expected goals. He's still getting very good chances. He just isn't converting them right now, and his SofaScore rating has gone down. Is that a worry for you at all going into this game that Haaland hasn't delivered his best form?
No, I think it's a worry for Real Madrid because Haaland is going to be very hungry to come out, especially when Real Madrid this week hit them where it hurts. But we'll see what type of Erling Braut Haaland we get. Now that you say about that XG underperformance and the fact that he gets great chances, I would love one day to do a breakdown, and we definitely can in future episodes, and ask whether Erling Haaland is an elite finisher, because sometimes he has chances that are so easy that you think, okay, this is going to be a goal, and he misses, and then he'll create a chance out of absolutely nowhere that no footballer on earth has any business scoring. It's very strange. He's this anomaly of a human being, of an athlete, and he's absolutely incredible. But it is interesting to see the plethora of opportunities that this guy has there. He scores sometimes the most difficult, and he misses sometimes the easiest. But the sheer amount of goals that he scores is astonishing.
Astonishing. Now, I think we look now going into this game for Manchester City against Real Madrid. And one of the things that will be fascinating, Xabi Alonso also wanted to implement a style of possession-based football. We know that Manchester City under Pep Guardiola are doing a very similar thing. So let's read how these teams are in their use of the ball. And so we look so far in this season, Manchester City, in terms of average possession, is just slightly better. But still, again, we're talking about 59.6 for Real Madrid. That is a slight difference in their style of play compared to how they were under Carlo Ancelotti in terms of field tilt. These are very similar numbers all the way down. The one difference that does give a slight advantage to Real Madrid is the percentage of passes that go forward. But again, if we're talking about our Z-score spectrum from bad teams in Europe all the way to the best teams, these are the very elite in terms of possession and their ability on the ball. So I think we see a Man City side coming into this game. We'll be curious if they can go away from home